Dr. Neguise holds an LL.B. in law from Sha'arei Mishpat Academic Center of Law and Science in Hod HaSharon and a PhD in Philosophy of Education from the University of Sussex in England. Dr. Neguise, we turn the floor over to you.
Thank you very much. I born in Ethiopia and grew up in a very remote village. I grew up as a shepherd, and my parents sent me a long distance to receive education, and I walked 25 kilometers to go to school, not every day, but every weekend. I returned back home. Then in Gondar, I've completed high school. In 1985, I migrated to Israel with my wife and one daughter, and we were located in the Gilo Absorption Center in south of Jerusalem. Then soon after we arrived, after we completed our Ulpan Hebrew classes, I joined the Hebrew University, where I completed first and second degree in social work in Hebrew University. Then I became, while I was a student, I have been very active on the immigration issue before Operation Solomon and after, and also on the integration process. I joined the political activities because I understand that in order to move the agenda and the different issues of the community on immigration and the absorption issue, I have to be part of a political movement which give me and empower me to advocate on behalf of my community. Likud is my favorite party, and I chose Likud to be a member. And first in 1996, I joined the Likud party and been active in that party. I took the Likud party because the Likud party was the leaders of the Likud party were the one who really enabled to fulfill the vision of Ethiopian Jews into a reality. Until 1977, until Menachem Begin, as head of the Likud party, he became a prime minister of Israel, the Ethiopian Jewish community were not allowed to immigrate to Israel. It's only after 1977, when Menachem Begin became a prime minister, he told that to the Israeli system to bring the Ethiopian Jews. He said, just bring Ethiopian Jews to Israel. And that's how we started the immigration, and Yitzhak Shamir followed his direction, and then the same thing also Netanyahu and other leaders also. Therefore, I thought that Likud is also ideologically on the Eretz Israel, or the land of Israel. Reality also is very much suitable and acceptable to my understanding and my ideology. Since I became part of Likud, I have been elected as a branch member and the central party and even the secretary party. And then I became the first Ethiopian immigrant to be a chairman of the Likud branch. Jerusalem is the largest, the Likud branch, and I became the chairman of the Likud branch in Jerusalem. Then in the previous primary election in 2012-13, I took part of to be a member of parliament, and I won the spot, the new immigrant spot in the Likud party primaries. But when the Likud and the Lieberman parties joined together, my number was being pushed. Therefore, I didn't make it. This time, again, I took the primary, the election, the competition, and I became in the list 27. Then on the final election, Likud received 30 seats, and I am now a member of Knesset. And now I am very happy that I finally completed and fulfilled my vision to be a member of Knesset in the Israeli parliament and represent my community as well as also all the immigrants in the Knesset. And I received also to be a chairman of the Migration, Absorption and Diaspora Affairs, which give me the opportunity to help and move immigration and absorption issues. Since I received this became a chairman of this committee, I led several meetings, discussions on this committee. In the first, my discussion was on the migration and absorption of the French and Ukrainian Jews, because as we know that in Ukraine and France, there are potential aliya, Persian immigrants, which we have to encourage and help them to migrate to Israel, and also see how the government is taking care of those who are already immigrated to Israel in employment, housing, education, and other aspects of the absorption issue. The other discussion we said also, as you know, there are demonstrations, at least 5 demonstrations from the Ethiopian Jewish community. That also issue is also been discussed in my committee to see what are the problems that the government need to address in order to answer the questions of the young people who are really asking and demanding to be addressed. As the Prime Minister established a ministerial committee headed by the Prime Minister, and in order to address all the problems that has been raised in these recent demonstrations. So my committee is becoming helpful for the Prime Minister on bringing the realities and presenting to his ministerial committee in order to find solutions. The other discussion which I did is in order, as my committee is also taking activities on the diaspora affairs, and my committee discussed last week on the anti-Semitism situation, especially in the European states, that the Jewish community are facing anti-Semitism. So I invited 9 ambassadors, different countries, and they came to my committee and the Jewish leaders, and also respected Israeli government representatives like the Foreign Ministry, and also other relevant offices represented in that discussion. The ambassadors that joined was the European Union ambassador, the Holland ambassador, the Hungarian ambassador, and the French deputy ambassador, the German deputy, and the British deputy ambassadors, and the American and Canadian also deputy ambassadors, and also other countries, also member of parliaments, also presented. And the head of the LD, also A. Foxman was also presented, and the meeting was opened by the Knesset Speaker Yuli Edelstein. This kind of discussions was very important in order to understand that what those respected governments are planning or are preparing to fight anti-Semitism in their country. So we've been encouraged by the response that we received from the different ambassadors, that their country, their government is standing with the Jewish people fighting anti-Semitism, and they said that anti-Semitism is not and should not be Jewish problem, should be a problem for all human person, all human people. So they also assured us that they will fight anti-Semitism in their country. And other different issues, domestic issues also, my committee is discussed and continuing to discuss. The other aspect that I have already started also is strengthening Israel, the state of Israel relationship with the African states. And I have received by the Knesset Speaker a responsibility to stand as a chairperson on the Ethiopian-Israel relationship, parliamentary relationship, Ghana parliamentary relationship, Rwanda parliamentary relationship, and Ivory Coast. And also I am also heading the Knesset caucus on the strengthening relationship between all African states with the state of Israel. I am also a member of one of the chairmen of the Association of Relationship of Parliamentary between America and Canada and Israel, and a member of also the European Association also for strengthening a relationship with Israel. These are the main things that I'm doing it, and I am planning also to do it in those activities.
Dr. Neguise, it sounds like for a freshman, Knesset have you very, very busy indeed. I also want to just express my appreciation. We try to get as many of the members of Knesset from the Likud on the phone to introduce them to our American friends of Likud, and always try to get them to speak in English as best as they can. I know that English is your third language after Amharic and Hebrew, so I appreciate the effort that you're putting in for us. We only have a few minutes for questions. I'm going to turn it over to Sarah to ask a couple of questions, and then we will finish the call after that. Sarah?
Dr. Neguise, I'm incredibly impressed that you have as Adam just said, that you are in charge of so many committees in a wide variety of really worldwide topics, and all of which are of critical and almost existential importance to the state of Israel. So I was going to ask you what your personal goals are for your first term, but I think actually you've somewhat laid those out. So what I'd like to go to now is actually immigration. From what countries do you expect the most olim in the next 3 years? And do you expect immigration to outpace emigration over the next 3 years?
Yes. We are expecting immigrations in France and Ukraine. That is that I understand from the discussions that we had, and also from Ethiopia. As you know, that there are still remained our brothers and sisters still waiting in Ethiopia, in Addis Ababa and Gondar, and there is also a discussion to another government decision in order to complete the aliya from Ethiopia. So these are the areas that we are hoping that the number of immigrants will be increased in just near in these 2-3 years. We hope also other areas, but so far, according to my understanding, these are the areas. Looking, of course, from the former Soviet Union, still immigration is going on, not with big numbers, but still the immigration is also there. And of course, in North America also, organizations like Nefesh to Nefesh are also working on increasing the number of immigrants. So this is the areas that we are hoping that there will be immigrations in those in these 2 or 3 years.
Dr. Neguise, my next and perhaps last question, with regard to the Ethiopian community, do you think that discrimination against Ethiopians is as pervasive and deep-seated as the media portrays, or is the situation, different than what we see on the media or read in the papers?
Yeah, sorry.
And then specifically, what programs would you like to see instituted with regard to the Ethiopian community?
Right. Well, when we speak about discrimination, there is no discrimination policy, but there are offices, there are individual peoples are discriminating. So there is a reality, but not as a policy. Therefore, for example, there are people in every government offices which are discriminating, like for receiving Ethiopian academics, those who finished and they have academic degrees. It is very difficult for them to get job according to they been trained, because Israel is a materialist society. So the business sector especially is looking a person who has more experience than to receive a new immigrant, because they are looking for profits. The government or the public sector is in any open places comes, they just raising those who are inside the office. In this situation, there are high unemployment in the area of the Ethiopian young people who have studied first and second degree, and they don't have the opportunity to get jobs according to their field. So this is one reality. The other reality is also housing problems. The parents received government mortgages and became located in a very disadvantaged neighborhood areas. And the young people, after they finish their studies, serving the army, and they build family, they are not able to buy apartment, and then they have to stay with their parents. So these are realities. So what has to be done is that now, as I said earlier, that the Prime Minister established a special committee on this issue, on Ethiopian Jewish issue, and to address those problems, to integrate them to the society in the education area, from the pre-childhood, preschool to the university level. Especially in the elementary schools, there are 70% in the classrooms as Ethiopian Israelis. So this has to be changed in order to integrate them to the society. Employment situation has to be, the government has to take the responsibility to encourage the employees, the different organizations, if it is a private sector, a public sector, or the third sector, that when they employ the immigrants, they must get some kind of advancement or subsidy from the government. And the housing, in order to solve the housing problem, the bank to give mortgage, the people they must come with 30-40% of the price from their own capital, and that the Ethiopian Jews, they don't have that capital. So the government has to come in arrangement with the bank system in order to give them, that the government gives a guarantee so that a bank can give them a mortgage for these young people, which they will pay every month from the salaries that they will work. So this kind of situation, programs has to be designed in order to address those problems and integrate them to the society.
Dr. Neguise, I want to thank you for taking the time tonight. I know it's late in Israel. It's about 20 to 10. I want to thank Sarah also for moderating the call. We are very fortunate here in the state of Israel. Am Yisrael, Eretz Yisrael, and Medinat Yisrael is very fortunate to have individuals like you with your passion, with your ideology, your idealism, and your experience to join and be a member of Knesset and help lead the Jewish people as we move forward. So I want to thank you again for joining us on this call, for introducing yourself to the American Friends of Likud, and we look forward to more opportunities here in Israel and, of course, back in the United States when you travel to the United States to interact and to meet with you again. Thank you all very much.
I just say one sentence.
Yes.
This is all Israel. The story of Israel for the 67 year of the existence of Israel is the summary of the story is my history. Israel received millions of Jewish immigrants to Israel and helped them and integrate them. I am one of them. Became from Ethiopia, a remote village, grow up as a shepherd, and Israel helped me in education, and all supported me, and now I am one of the lawmakers of the state of Israel. This is the story of Israel as a Jewish home for every Jew from the four corners of the earth.
And you are 100% the personification of that, and we cannot express our gratitude enough for it. And thank you again. Really, thank you again for joining us.
Yes,
look forward to many more opportunities.
And we are all clapping.
Okay, all the best. Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. 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 Bye-bye.